Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the week. There is only just going to be the one, just because the two lists, the Resar list is fairly similar to the other Resar list I posted just last week. We just didn't want to post two very similar Resar lists 2 weeks in a row, so I wanted to kind of focus on Blazer today. So Blazer Go Rabus is obviously the ruler. He has a J activate of pay 0, but you can only activate it if your opponent controls a J ruler. So he's very reactionary in that regard. So he only flips if your opponent is flipped, and he's kind of a punish mechanic. But the main thing that makes it is all of the magic stones you control can produce, gain, tap, produce fire. Fire will. So all of your stones suddenly become dual stones. Very, very powerful. Mana fixing is very, very powerful. Keeps you very safe from burn spells and stuff like that, and just gives you a lot of consistency in terms of your stone lineup. So his flip side is also Blazer Go Rabus, so he's the same on both sides. His effect, he has two effects, primarily. When this card enters your field, target J ruler your opponent controls loses all abilities until end of turn. And when this card enters your field, destroy target J ruler your opponent controls. So the whole point is you remove all your abilities, then you destroy them, and so they don't have imperishable, so it's a free kill of a J ruler, essentially. But he still has that stones you control tap to gain fire. Very, very good. And if you control no Resonators, he gains an additional 400. So he becomes a 14/14 if he's by himself. Very, very powerful card. Again, the mana fixing is huge. The ability to pop your opponent's J rulers very, very quickly is also very huge. He does target, so keep in mind that your opponent can have ways to get around it, but still, ultimately, very, very powerful card. Moving on to the stone lineup, this is a black-red deck, so black-red in the sense that Blazer provides the red. So we have a Grusbalesta, a Little Red the Pure Stone, and then just 8 black stones. Because essentially, because of Gil Rabus, all of these become scorched pales, so they all become black-red stones. So it frees you up from being able to worry about burn stuff. In terms of the monster lineup, the Incarnate engine is 3 Rukh Egg, 4 Rasputin, and 4 Guinevere. I have to give a hand to Massimo, the guy who kind of generated this version of the list, for only running 3 Rukh Egg. I honestly think that 3 Rukh Egg is probably ideal, because you do eventually run out of sources, and so sometimes you don't want to see 4, and you're going to be able to search for them consistently enough. Plus, with the way this deck is run, it's kind of designed to be able to want space for one-ofs of some pretty important cards. So you find room to be able to fit those one-ins in, and I think that Rukh Egg was an optimal choice to hit that, to make a slot. Also, I just think Rasputin is infinitely better in terms of recurrence for the engine. Sure, Guinevere helps a lot because you can use Guinevere over and over again with Rukh Egg to really search through your deck and add consistency. But I think that Rasputin overall, honestly, does a lot more work for the deck. Then 3 Lora, the Blood Speaker. The deck only runs one other Carmilla, but again, this is to help add consistency and always replenish your resources for the Incarnate engine. That's the one thing this deck does really well, is its Incarnate engine always works to replace itself. So you're incarnating for these bigger creatures, but the creatures that you're using for the Incarnate are always going to replace themselves. So you're really never going to run out of material, which is really, really important, and I think operates really smoothly. Plus, you can use it to search for the one of Carmilla as a kill spell. So very, very good. 2 Cinderellas. Again, this is to help make use of those Incarnate fodder pieces. You can do some clever board wiping with Rasputins or even Rukh Eggs. In addition, again, with that replacing itself, Cinderella, if she does deal damage, she can grab you that Prince. And when you play Prince, you can recur any creature from your grave, essentially turning any of your one-ofs into a 2-of. So really adding consistency to the build. Plus, if you have to discard things early with Guinevere, you can use Deadman Prince to bring it back later in the game and use it again. A Pumpkin Witch, personally, I don't necessarily like it that much in this deck. I feel like the board press, the way the field works with the deck, it's not ideal. But if you're in some grind out matches, Pumpkin Witch can help you end the game. Just the one-of, again, because there's so much draw power in the deck that one-ofs get seen very frequently. My personal favorite tech choice of this list is Little Dread the Fake Red Moon. great to see this card getting played. An 8/8 with target attack. You can pay 1 when it's awakened to give target Resonator +6/-6. So that can be spot removal, that can be extra damage, all kinds of stuff. You can also do Awakening of a red and any color to recover target Resonator. You control cover target Resonator, gain control of it, and give it swiftness. So you can do this to your own Resonators. That's the thing, and the ruling is it can already be a recovered Resonator, so you can just play it, recover it, give it swiftness, and then swing in with it. Like you saw me do in the game 1 with the Byakhee play. All kinds of crazy stuff. I did swiftness to Byakhee so I could tap it and give Nyarlathotep that extra attack. The other thing I noticed, you can do both of her awakenings in one effect, so you can do paying 6 to make her happen. But I mean, at worst, she's a 4-drop with some spot removal potential. At best, she closes out the game hands down. Getting into the main kind of Cthulhu incarnate stuff, we run 3 Hastur as that spot removal, and we run 4 Nyarlathotep the Usurper. This card is absolutely amazing, especially to drop it on turn 2. Especially when you can drop it on turn 2 and play, whatever you grabbed off, like the Rasputin or the Rukh Egg, whatever, typically another 1-drop to go alongside it if you play it on turn 1. Being able to look at your opponent's hand gets you all that information, and you can just disrupt their tempo very solidly. Really, really great. Really, really great card. Very underrated. It was very underrated. I've always said this card is amazing, and it's really getting its time to shine in this deck. Then the 1-ofs, 1 Carmilla for that spot removal, 1 Byakhee for that kind of last-minute poke / more incarnations to be able to get stuff flying. A Susanoo, again, to close out the games with the swiftness, as well as to being able to burn something that's in your way with his own effect. And then 1 Yog-Sothoth to help with board wipes, as well as closing out, having a big body with Pierce to close out the damage that you need to finish the game. In terms of spells and Regalia, the deck runs main boards 4 Deathscythes, just to make sure that Blazer will always kill his target permanently. Very, very good. 3 Flames of Outer World for spot removal against J-Rulers and other stuff. With all the monster spot removal, this deck doesn't really use a lot of spells, so it actually only uses the 3 Flames of Outer World and 2 Stoning to Death, which I think really optimizes the build, honestly. And then 1 copy of Fetal Movement in Outer World, just to be able to mess with other Incarnate decks, as well as being able to have an option to burn your opponent. If you're getting low on the game, play Fetal Movement on their graveyard and burn them the last little bit of damage you need to kill it. Or if they're going to make a play involving their graveyard, just Fetal Movement their graveyard, and there you go. It's really good against Resart decks. Really forces them to use a lot of resources. So yeah, guys, that is the deck. Again, huge thanks to Massimo for creating this list, and congrats to him for winning the big Italy tournament he did with this list. It's really awesome. Go ahead and tell me what you thought about the list, what you would change, what you would do different. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.